Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of TEDXcellence, but it's a special TEDsgiving. We're coming to you once again to discuss off-brand TED Talks for entertainment and enlightenment. And I come to you live from Crater Valley on the moon with Dogcat Fox, a pepperjack, well, not a pepperjack tonight, but a Jack Daniel's Southern Peach for that Thanksgiving spirit, and all of you. And I dressed up. I dressed up for Thanksgiving dinner. Yes, I got a tie, got a vest on, got my tie pin, tie clip. There's my hair. I'm doing it appropriately. This is a fancy occasion. I wanted my mother to be proud in case she's watching. She may be watching, for all I know. So I didn't want to, be a layabout on this one. But hope everybody's doing well on this beautiful Thursday early evening. Yes, we're starting 2 hours early tonight because, well, Thanksgiving, and we're doing at least, and I say at least, it's possible we might do more, but at least a double feature. TEDXcellence today, just to keep everybody company, keep myself company, and for those of you who are still digesting your tryptophan or are Thanksgiving orphans, as the case may be, and not have any particular events or anything you're attending, keep each other company. So here we are, rock us like a hurricane. Who's joining me on this beautiful Thursday evening? Also, let me get everything cooking here. There we go. Oh, yes, by the way, over the course of the stream, if there's something in particular that you are thankful for, please just put big capital letters thankful in the chat, and then what you're thankful for, and I'll do my best to keep up with those as the night goes on and put them up if you'd like them to be read. So there's that. But yes, as for who's here and what's going on, let me get all my streamer stuff set up here. There we go. I think I'm an official streamer now. Epicast Diaboli, evening, although it is morning. You posted early. Walter Tomaszewski, happy Thanksgiving. Scribe, my cats tell me you are their favorite person and want you to know if you are going to eat all of that turkey by yourself. Well, truth be told, I didn't have turkey for Thanksgiving. I know. My family does a Thanksmas in between holidays thing, so I didn't have turkey. I had sweet and sour chicken and lo mein. I know, it's very, very, very American. It might be American. I don't know. Mike Savage, Blarg. Who else is here? Hold on. Snortapupus Cuber. Happy Thanksgiving. Let's see. Advocatus Diaboli. Happy Thanksgiving. Anybody else? Mike R. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Noah Asensio. Happy Thanksgiving. Kieverdam. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Kieverdam, as always, for providing the link, guys, to the top of the chat box to the Leukemia Lymphoma Society donation page. Please take a look at that. If you can donate, please do so. But even if you can't, if you can share that on social media, that would be appreciated. But either way, thank you guys so much for your generosity ahead of time. And thank you, Kieverdam, for providing the link. Adam Nixon. Happy Thanksgiving. Blue-Eyed Screen, happy Thanksgiving to you. Liana Johnston, happy Thanksgiving. Jay Blizza, happy Thanksgiving. Unfair Ophelia, happy Thanksgiving. Anybody else here? Anybody else? Scrolling. Otho May, happy Thanksgiving. And I think that's everybody. If I missed you, if you're lurking, if you're in the future, happy Thanksgiving. So I think it's incumbent upon me to talk about what, at least for a few moments, what I'm thankful about. As many of you know, the last couple of months in particular, and certainly by extension the last year and a half, have been particularly difficult for my family with my father's illness and passing. And consequently, I'm very, very thankful for my family. I've been very fortunate that my family has never really had any schisms. My sister and I have a great relationship. Our parents were married for 56 years. Were there troubled times in the course of my family's life? Sure, but nothing that was catastrophic and nothing that ever really left us with any kind of rift between us. So I'm very fortunate for that. And so when my father's illness came down, the phrase "we were put to the test" comes to mind, but it doesn't really apply. It was more, our closeness and our relative ease with each other, I think, was just galvanized in the course of that. And we came together in a way more so than we had in the past, but not because of any distance, but just because of necessity and love for each other. And even though it was terrible, I think after all of it, we're strengthened by it. And so I'm very, very thankful for my mother, my sister, and my father, and our ability to take care of each other, check in on each other, and be there when we needed it in the times where things were not fun and where we were all in our own ways struggling. Maybe almost more than my thankfulness for my family, though, is the number of people in particular surrounding my mother, both before, during, and after my father's diagnosis and then passing. She has friends and neighbors that are relentless in taking care of her and seeing to her and helping her out and running little errands for her and helping her get around when she was recovering from knee surgery and grief and everything else. I had no idea, and it's a happy thing to be able to be thankful for. It's also kind of a sad commentary, maybe on my own cynicism or what I see of the world these days, that it feels like such a rare thing to have that much caring and support come someone's way from friends and neighbors. But they have been there for her nonstop, and I do not have the words to express how thankful I am for them being there when my sister and I cannot be because of distance. And tertiarily to all of that, but no less important, I'm thankful for all of the volunteers that assisted in my father's home hospice and in dealing with the aftermath. Yeah, I don't. I'm lacking the vocabulary to express how meaningful it all was to have these effective strangers giving their time and their sensitivity and their care and their caring to my mother, my sister, myself, and especially my father. And so I have a lot to be thankful for this year, despite all of the pain and strain of it. So without getting too emotional about it any more than I feel comfortable. So that's my list. And so I'd be curious to know what you guys are thankful for. So again, if you're thankful for anything in particular, but just put big capital letters in the chat box, say thankful, and then whatever it is that you would like to talk about. And as I see them, I'll put them up there. If I miss it in the first passing, I apologize. I will be, doing a TEDx or two here in a minute. But it's certainly by the time we get to bingo card time, throw them up there if I haven't already read yours. And I'll try to get to as many as I can. Jay Blizzard, I forgot that we were all supposed to do it to format, but I am thankful nobody in my family is of ill health or injured at the moment, unlike last when my dog broke her leg, my bro his wrist, and mom got pneumonia. Well, I'm thankful that you're thankful that everything's well with your family now, and I'm glad that I hope everybody's recovered from those injuries and everything. Let's see. Advocatus, I am thankful for statute of limitations. Okay, well, I guess we need a palate cleanser after my sincere expression of thankfulness. Thanks, Advocatus. Appreciate it. Let's see. Jable is thankful my family is of good health this year. There you go. Yeah, I mean, if you want to put a paragraph, that's fine. You can put in a summary too. I'm happy to do either way. Mike R. I'm thankful for. What are those? Are those grasshoppers or something? I have no idea what those are. I don't know. Anyway. Let's see. Who else is here? I saw a couple other people pop in. Kirsten Scholl over on the X Machine. Yes, guys, I'm simulcasting on X. If you happen to be on X or have an X account and want to retweet the stream when you see it, please do so. Let people know that I exist. That's always fun. And of course, Keishel is also on the X machine. I saw Morgan King. Good evening and happy Thanksgiving, Morgan King. Let's see, anybody else? Leanna Johnston, I am grateful for every Thursday for these streams. Get away from stress for a little bit. Well, thank you, Leanna. I'm glad to assist as in any way that I can. Walter Tomaszewski, I'm thankful for my family, who's ever left of it. Friends, cats, apartment, container, garden, hobbies, job. There you go. Especially for the kitty cats. Yay, kitty cats. All right. Oh, crickets. You're happy for crickets. Are you Pinocchio? And if you get that, then you're old. Let's see. Oh, whoops. Scribelight, you were late to Thanksgiving. It was in October. Is that a Canadian thing? I don't know about all you maple drinkers up there. I don't know. Something ain't right about y'all up there in that cold north, drinking maple syrup like it's no tomorrow. Anyway, Captain JPS, happy Thanksgiving. Thankful for my family and the wonderful community I found from watching Marvin the Movie Monster, which led to finding Midnight's Edge. Hey, there you go. Yeah, and by the way, that's why tonight's bingo card is bingo card C. C for community. So get your bingo card C's ready. Links to the bingo cards in the description. Scribe Face. I don't think I've seen it before. Here I am. Rocky like a hurricane. And I dressed up tonight. I did. Dressed up for Thanksgiving dinner. And that is actually poignant for the first TEDx we're going to be looking at tonight. I tried to find at least one thing that I could relate to Thanksgiving for tonight's marathon. And the first one that popped up was one that was just posted, I think, earlier this week or late last week. And that is how to host a bipartisan dinner. How to host a bipartisan dinner. And I thought to myself, if I were hosting a Thanksgiving dinner, or any particular dinner, and I knew that I was going to have people of strong, say, political belief systems on opposite sides of the aisle showing up, this is what I would do. And I'm curious to find out what advice our speaker is going to give or what their take on it is. But this is what I do. I'd say when they come to the door, you know, and classically everybody has to bring something to contribute, right? Somebody brings a pie, somebody brings a, green bean casserole or whatever. And when you get to the door, and I welcome you at the door, I'd say, welcome. There are 2 rules. 1, you must clean your plate. And 2, no politics. All right? And if you do this in good humor, and everybody's there because they're your friend or family member, loved one or whatever, then everybody's been given warning. And if somebody does start bringing up politics or something else, everybody can go, remember the rules. And in a very friendly way, calm it down. If that's even a risk at all. That's what I would do if I wanted to have a bipartisan dinner. But I don't know what our speaker means or what he's going to say, so we'll find out momentarily. Yeah, these Jack Daniel's Southern Peach. It's a wine cooler, basically. What we call in college bitch beer. Yeah, it's tasty and it's mild. There you go. Yes, it's a Canadian thing. I figured, you Canadians. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our sons' command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land, glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. I may have been taken to a hockey game or two in my youth. That's all I'll say. Anyway, that little aside. Get your bingo card C's ready, everybody. This one clocks in at just under 12 minutes. We're going to learn, purportedly, how to host a bipartisan dinner. Let's go.
So it happened because people were allowed and even encouraged to hate.
It happened. Pennywise? What happened? Wait, am I coming? Did I cut off? What? It happened. Okay. What happened?
8 years ago, I worked in Rwanda on an entrepreneurship project.
Oh, okay. It happened in Rwanda. That's a very loaded beginning. I mean, it happened in Rio, but okay. Rwanda, 8 years ago. Granted that this is a 2025 talk. Okay. 2017, Rwanda. Right.
My guide, Gene, survived the genocide.
Okay, last time we opened with an anecdote about a half-brother being killed by an avalanche, and now we open this one with genocide. Where does the school board find them, and why do I keep picking them out?
But I'll never forget Gene's quiet, chilling words to me. He said, Rhett, this happened because people were allowed and even encouraged to hate.
Yes, Rwanda. Okay. Please don't tell me I picked like a depressing talk for Thanksgiving.
The Rwandan genocide started because government-controlled radio stations broadcast messages of hate and violence.
Okay, admittedly, I am not a scholar on the Rwandan genocide. I have a feeling there were a few more factors involved than simple radio propaganda. I got a sneaking suspicion.
And driven by fear, resentment, and anger, and desperation, 800,000 people lost their lives, brutally murdered in a matter of 3 months.
Well, that's kind of what genocide is. It's mass murder, but okay. Okay.
Friends killed friends, neighbors killed neighbors, and the world watched, horrified at how quickly a society could disintegrate.
Again, and I'm happy to be corrected because admittedly I am not a historian on this subject, but the circumstances leading up to the Rwandan genocide didn't just, happen overnight. This is long-standing tensions of blood feuds between tribes that have been going on for quite some time. They might have hit their peak at that point, obviously, but it didn't just come out of nowhere.
But Gene was remarkable.
Uh-huh.
His story was marked by bravery, by resilience, by sorrow.
Uh-huh.
He had taken his niece and his nephew across the border to safety over treacherous terrain.
When do we get to the dinner part of this?
After his parents and his siblings had been murdered.
Uh-huh.
He and I visited chilling memorials.
I'm sure. Okay. I apologize, guys. I thought this was going to be something awkwardly upbeat. TEDx never fails to surprise me, I guess.
Underground mass graves and a church where 20,000 people had been slaughtered with bullets and machetes and grenades.
Okay. I'm drinking to cope tonight.
Their bloodied clothing and belongings still scattered amongst the pews in that sanctuary where they had sought refuge but only found violence.
Dude, where are you going with it? Did they put the wrong title on this talk?
When I was younger,
Oh, childhood or family anecdote?
I worked for the United States Agency for International Development.
Oh, not that young. Okay.
In my first tour as an economic development specialist, I was sent to Tajikistan after their civil war.
Genocide, civil war. Okay, sure, why not?
And I learned firsthand what happens when people forget to talk to each other and they can't talk to each other. 100,000 people lost their lives in that civil war.
Okay. I mean, there is some truth to, as long as we're talking, we're not fighting. And I know even less about that civil war than I do the Rwandan genocide. But again, I have a feeling that it's a bit more nuanced than simple lack of communication. I just got a feeling.
And I remember vividly, talking to my youngest employee, and he told me about being a young teen, sitting on his roof with his machine gun shooting at people trying to kill he and his family.
Uh-huh. And
also in my time in Central Asia, I spent 7 years there.
well, you're just an international man of misery, aren't you?
I vividly remember landing in Afghanistan.
Yeah. Tell me about Afghanistan, because that hasn't been part of the headlines in the last 24 hours. I can't say I don't mean to date this stream. It's Thanksgiving. But yeah, yesterday we had a domestic incident with an Afghan refugee come asylum seeker. Anyway.
Unsure of how I was going to accomplish the task I was set to accomplish, which was to help facilitate trade with countries in the region. Countries that were war-torn, countries that had suffered from ethnic violence. And so you can imagine the conversations were tense and challenging.
I can imagine quite a bit. Han Solo. And?
Right?
Right.
And so I had to lean on things I'd learned early in life.
Okay.
Humility, respectful listening, genuine curiosity. And those helped me get breakthroughs in starting conversations. And those conversations usually started over a meal or while we were breaking bread together.
Okay. We've had to go through barbed wire and landmines to get there, but now maybe we're at the point of the talk. Good golly.
Which brings me to today.
Okay.
How many of you here have a hard time talking about what's going on in the world with family, friends, coworkers? Let me see you raise your hands.
Okay, well, no, see, this is where you've already set up a failure point. Family, friends, coworkers. Okay, again, I've brought this up many times in the past, professional distance. When you're at work, there is a silent code of conduct, if not an explicit code of conduct, and that is you leave your life and as much of you and your personal foibles and things at the door, you do your job, and then you go home. Talking about what's going on in the world, my family and my friends, is almost a non-issue because they're my family and my friends and they know me. And unless I have some explicit decree not to discuss something with them, or I know that it's going to be contentious for no particular reason, then otherwise, yeah. But at work, no. It's what I think about what's going on in the world, short of some like shared joy or sorrow, no. But anyway.
Right, because you're afraid that these conversations will turn ugly.
No, I'm not afraid of anything. I can read the room to tell whether or not it's a time to talk about something, if at all. Anyway, I'm going to circle mind reading assumes motives on that one because he's assuming to know how people think about things. So circling mind reading assumes motives. Let's go over the bingo card one time here to remind ourselves what we were listening for in the course of the talk. This is bingo card C. C is in community. Links to the bingo cards are in the description. DEI philosophy, word salad, a list, not quite sure yet, marginalize marginalization, patriarchy, contradicts own point or fails to make argument, feminism, attempt to coin new buzzword or buzz phrase, systemic or institutional, anecdote that probably never happened, white supremacy, childhood or family anecdote, we might get there, he hasn't gotten there yet, leaves out vital context, weightless example or non sequitur. I mean, the severity of the wars and genocides he brought up, whittling down to a dinner with family and friends seems over the top. We'll debate that later. Sales pitch for product or service, privilege, collectivizes own demographic, self-vilification or wretchedness, economic disparity, benevolent condescension, plays victim, deceptive statistics, and lastly, microaggressions or unconscious bias. And again, that is if the speaker uses those concepts in their talk, not that we suspect they themselves possess them. But so far on the board, we have mind reading assumes motives and free space circled. So all that being said, let's continue.
Right. And I know that I'm guilty of it, even with members of my own family.
Okay.
Because I know that those conversations won't serve the relationships well.
Okay, you're guilty of it. That is a, if only mild form of self-vilification and wretchedness. Circling that one on the board. Get that there. Okay, so self-vilification or wretchedness. Not the most extreme example I've ever heard, but all the same.
I read a study recently from the Agora Institute at Johns Hopkins University that really was alarming to me.
Uh-oh. All right, so do we think these statistics are going to be deceptive or what?
And it said 50% of Americans, 50%, view members of the other political party as immoral and even evil.
You know, I don't think that's deceptive statistics, more like duh statistics. If you can believe it, especially since, 2016 or thereabouts, could you believe it? If a country that is, generally speaking, almost evenly split on political lines thinks the other side is immoral and evil? And I'm sorry, that is such a duh statement to make after the last 10 years or so. And the look on his face of like, did you know that? Am I telling you something you know? I don't think, I'd have to hear an argument that it's deceptive statistics. I think it's just pointless statistics, but whatever.
And that's alarming because what I know from history and from my experiences
Please do not tell me that the political divide in this country is the harbinger of the kinds of terrors and things that you mentioned at the beginning of your talk. Please do not tell me that I see this as a red flag because I've heard about Rwanda and I heard about this other civil war and I know about Afghanistan. If you're just going to be a doomsayer on this.
That neighbors and our friends and our colleagues and our communities can turn on each other very quickly.
Okay, Fostradamus. Proceed.
Because the genocide in Rwanda, the civil war in Tajikistan aren't just historical tragedies, which they are.
Oh, what else are they? What we have here is a failure to communicate.
They're a profound warning for us.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was going to do it anyway. Advocatus Diaboli in the chat got it as well. Benevolent condescension. Just so you guys know, If you think that leftists in California cheering on child mutilation is a bad thing, oh, well, you're just contributing to an atmosphere of oncoming civil war and genocide. Ugh.
A profound warning, because they demonstrate how thin the line is between civility and chaos.
Okay. I could be wrong. This is how psychic impressions work. If he brings up January 6th, I am hitting the psychic button.
And one of the lessons I learned in those jobs is that when there's a loss of dignity and humanity, the absolute worst can happen.
Oh, what do you foresee is happening here? Or what is a sign and or portent that you've seen that tells you that we're on our way to becoming Rwanda?
And it can happen easily.
Easily, yeah.
But I do think that there is a way, a different way.
A different way? What's the current way?
I think there's a way, a different path.
Okay.
Plato once said, he said,
put it in the squeezy thing and all of the spaghetti comes out? Oh, not that Plato.
The highest form of knowledge
is admitting you don't know anything?
Is empathy.
Oh.
Because it requires us to suspend our egos and live in another's world. And so that makes me happy that someone else believes that not only empathy and genuine conversation matter deeply.
Yes, only Plato and you ever thought this.
But that makes me really happy. And so with that ancient wisdom.
With a platitude?
I think that shows us a way to seeing each other's humanity.
Oh, does it? I'm sorry, this is just getting a little... Yeah, anyway. It's that whole condescension kind of thing. Guys, did you know that people are divided right now? And we really need to talk to each other in order to get along. I mean, fundamentally, I don't disagree. You know, civil discourse and polite disagreement, I wish would make a comeback more so than we've seen these days. But, you know, I have to deal with the world the way it is right now. And hopefully things will soften, but it seems like people aren't interested in civil discourse anymore. I don't know what it's going to take to get there. Maybe he's got the answer. Tell me, oh, tell me true, sage wisdom man.
Now, the path, that path is not to see each other as immoral. I think.
What if we see each other as equally immoral?
The path is finding a way to see each other's humanity. And I think we have to start by recapturing and refinding a way to have respectful dialogue.
Okay. In sentiment, I am with you. Now, as they say, the devil is in the details. How? What do you propose be done that either is not actively being done or no one's ever thought of before?
It's also finding a way to build trust. It's also finding a way to start listening to each other.
Yes, okay. Repetition is repetition. What is your suggestion?
No matter your race, your color, where you're from, right? Who you sleep with.
Again, I'm in agreement fundamentally. How?
What you believe.
Okay, now what you believe is... It all depends on context. What are you trying to, build bridges between here? Because if somebody believes that a second grader has a greater grasp of their gender identity than a full-grown adult, and that they should lead the way on telling the parents, who aren't totally telling them what to do through implication and reward, about medical treatments, that there might be sort of a deal breaker of trying to come to terms with someone who is promoting that kind of thing, in my mind, just as one example. So you're going to have to get a bit more specific and give us a how.
Whatever your favorite football team is.
I don't have one. I'm not into sports, if you can believe. Well, I like to watch curling, but that's about it.
Or whatever your stance on pineapple on pizza is. That's a whole nother matter. You're weird if you like pineapple on pizza, but...
Oh, well, then you've already ruined it. Where's your empathy? Where's your sense of humanity? Okay.
Anyway. And those conversations are not going to start with politicians.
They could. What if you had a politician who was, preaching unity and preaching empathy and preaching civil discourse?
Right, they're going to start with me. They're going to start with you.
Oh my God, me, you. Oh my gosh, hold on. Come on, StreamYard. Alan Thyler. Thank you so much, Alan Thyler, for the #1 Samurai Dogcat Fox. Oh! Dogcat Fox.
Wowie wow wow.
It's Dogcat Fox. Dogcat Fox is here to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Yes. He's waving at you. See, he's hello.
Wowie wow wow.
Dogcat Fox. Over there with his still in process friend. Someday, I will showcase Dogcat Fox's genetically engineered friend. I need to find the right components. I'm still looking for them. Once I have them, I swear. I keep teasing this, and I'm not doing it just for the sake of being a jerk, but it's going to happen. He's sitting right there. If I show him off too early, then it ruins the surprise. But Alan Thyler, thank you so much. Very much appreciate it. Let's see. What's this? Kay Roberts. The pecan pie is in the luggage. The pecan pie is in the luggage. Pecan. Pecan. Pecan, pecan. Are you a Mexican or a Mexicant? I don't know. Anyway.
They're going to start with us. And they're going to start in our homes. They're going to start in our schools. They're going to start in our businesses.
How? Just tell me how.
They're going to start in our cafes and our...
You're wandering too far off the edge of the camera. Come on. There's a circle on the floor for a reason. They don't have to work too hard to center you in the frame.
Diners or coffee shops. They're going to start with you in line at the post office. And
it's going to start with you in the sweat lodge. It's going to start with you in the foxhole. It's going to start with you in the Games Workshop store where you're playing Warhammer.
They're going to start with everyday conversations that you have.
Like how? How? What do you propose?
So what I'm asking you is simple, but it's not easy.
What?
And it's called the Common Ground Project.
Attempt to coin new buzzword or buzz. Well, let's see. Is that buzzword or buzz phrase or sales pitch for product or service? Let's wait and see. Let's see how he describes it. It could be one, could be the other, could be both.
What I'm asking you to do is host restorative dialogues and support restorative dialogues in your community.
Restorative dialogues. What are the odds? What are the odds? Do these dialogues by any chance involve a circle? Please tell me that there's a circle involved with this restorative dialogue process.
And what that means is I'm asking you to host meals, dinners, coffees with people who disagree with you.
Okay, why would I know these people? right? Now, I mean, if I go to work and I'm amongst a whole bunch of coworkers who I didn't bring together because they were employed by my boss, then it's entirely possible that there are people there who come from walks of life completely different from my own and perspectives and so on that are, counter to my own experience. It's more likely. But if we're talking about friends, family, and otherwise, at this point in my life, if I had such divides between myself and people in my family, and certainly socially, that would be, that in opposition, why would they still be in my life or close enough that they'd want to come over to dinner to my place if we knew that we so fundamentally disagreed with each other on so many things? Because as you said, whether we like it or not, the climate right now is you're either with us or you're against us. And that goes for either side, generally speaking, of the political spectrum. So do you have any tips for how you convince people that and they know you're on opposite sides of things to want to come to dinner? Like, what's the incentive for them?
Right, who disagree with you. Now, in these dinners or these meals, what I'm asking you to do is to do it from a place of genuine curiosity.
But it's not genuine curiosity, it's an agenda. Okay?
Do it from a place of mutual respect. Do it.
Okay, well, if they disagree with you and you disagree with them, what is the goal? What is the goal?
From a place where people feel safe to share their opinions. The point of these dinners is not to change minds.
Yes, it is. You've just said that it is. You've just said that, or at least you've, strongly implied that it is meant to bring down the volume on the conflict, to find common ground, right? Because you're attempting to change the overall conversation heat into a cooler, more civil mindset, right? Okay, so you are trying to change minds. Now, I'm not saying it's inherently a malicious or insidious goal, but let's be honest. You're trying to bring people around to your way of thinking of being more civil, which is a noble goal. But don't pretend that you're not trying to influence people to change their perspectives to make you feel better.
But the point is to change hearts.
Okay,
And to see each other with a little more humanity, build a little more common ground.
well, at this point you need to give me an active example.
But obviously these need some ground rules.
Oh, okay.
Right, for them to be successful. So I want you to use my action framework and
Okay, attempt to coin new buzzword or buzz phrase. If it wasn't clear before, now we have an actual breakdown of letters into a word. Great. I'm not going to circle sales pitch because he hasn't actually given us a product yet or said this is an organization. It's just a glorified idea. But okay, we have the action framework. For those of you listening at home or you're on the road, I will read these out. He'll hopefully repeat them himself, but just for reference, action. And each letter in action has its own sentence. Action. A, ask genuine questions. Replace debate with curiosity. C, consider their perspective fully before responding. T, think about shared needs beneath the disagreement. I, invite collaboration on common goals. O, offer respect, especially when it's difficult. And N, next steps focused on solutions, not blame. This is a terrible, terrible mnemonic device. You know what's a great mnemonic device? A, B, C, always be closing. It's quick, it's simple. This is too much verbiage. But okay, that is the action framework.
my action questions that I'm going to share with you in a minute. Because I do think that these will help you stay calm and they will help guide these interactions.
Maybe. Let's see. And you know, that also counts. I mean, it's both a buzzword, buzz phrase. It's also a list of steps. So I'm going to circle a list. Just a reminder, we're on bingo card C. And so far on the bingo card, I have circled mind reading assumes motives, a list, attempt to coin new buzzword or buzz phrase, free space, benevolent condescension, and self-vilification or wretchedness. There may be others on the way, but we will see. We're over halfway through this talk, and I don't feel like we've gotten very far.
And the framework starts with A, which is ask genuine questions. Replace debate with curiosity. C is consider their opinions and their perspective fully before responding. T is think about their shared needs behind the disagreement.
Well, you said beneath the disagreement, but whatever.
Beneath the disagreement. I, invite collaboration on common goals. O is offer respect, especially when it's difficult. And N is next steps. Think about solutions. Focus on solutions, not blame.
Human beings being what they are, I should say. Human beings being what they are. You are not going to have a peaceful exchange in this. If you have people over who you specifically invite because they, severely disagree with you or you disagree with them, and you're inviting discussion. I mean, everybody would have to have the same goal. Not just you. But, I don't know, holy cow! Or cats, as this case may be. Derek LaRue! Thank you so much, Derek LaRue. That's very, very generous of you. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope you're doing well. Very much appreciate your continued support and generosity. And hope you enjoy the show. Thank you, Derek. Let's see. Daniel Fullman, doe, a deer, a female deer. It's true. Ray, a guy on the Ghostbusters.
And obviously, there's some questions that I want you to ask.
Sure. What do you want me to ask?
These 3 questions are really important to building trust and building curiosity.
Okay, well, if I didn't already have a list circled, I'd circle a list.
Number 1, can you share a moment or experience in your life that profoundly shaped who you are and what shaped your worldview?
Reading Punisher number 45. I can honestly say.
Number 2, what's one hope or concern you have for your family or your community that you think everyone here shares?
I mean, I guess ultimately the fate of the Star Wars franchise and whether or not anybody with any respectful and sane hands will handle it in the future.
And number 3, what's something you wish people who disagree with you could understand about your perspective or your story?
Well, no matter what you think, no matter how much you may love it, your favorite movie will never be as good as The Hunt for Red October. Not because you're a bad person, but either because you haven't seen the film, or you need to see the film again to understand. Yeah, I think that's something that covers it.
Look, I think these are genuine, powerful questions. I think they help build trust.
I'm glad you think so.
And I think they're curiosity-based questions.
Sure. You need to give an example. Or, I mean, at this point, I'll take a hypothetical example. You know, a staunch Democrat and a staunch Republican walk into a room to break bread together on this issue. Bring up a contentious issue between these two sides at this point in history and tell us, even in your most idealized fashion, what you would hope results from this discussion.
I think these are really, really, really critical.
I know you think everything you've just said is really, really good and meaningful. Tell me how this solves a problem. You know, because you'd have to have everybody coming to the table, literally in this case, in good faith and with the same purpose in mind for any of this to work. And you haven't described how you get to that point yet.
To helping us see each other again, hear each other again, build trust again.
Okay, I got a question for you. I got a genuine question for you. What if it's not an inability to see each other's humanity that is the problem? What if it is genuinely a fundamental rift between belief systems? You know, things that can't really find common ground on. What do you do then? Have you accounted for that possibility?
And I think that's why I want to make this a movement.
You want to make this a movement. This pie in the sky, Hallmark card structure framework that you've laid out. Okay.
Because imagine if we had 1 million of these dinners or these coffees.
Yeah, imagine the fist fights that would erupt.
Right? 1 million.
Right. 1 million.
That's 2 million people's lives changed, 2 million people's perspectives changed.
At minimum, I suppose. Maybe. You can't guarantee that.
And I think that's a really, really good start.
Sure.
To getting back to a place where we can talk to one another again.
Like I say, in the 30,000-foot level, I don't disagree with his sentiment or his desire, but nothing he's said means anything towards achieving that goal. Unless he's got, again, an active example or he can break down how this would work. Because there are some issues these days that there's no middle ground. Or it is exceedingly difficult to see how you could find one. The things that people care about and are the biggest flashpoints right now, if this talk was to improve, he would have to take one of the most controversial subjects of the day, something that has a decidedly one side and other side division, and describe, hopefully with an actual example of people that he's talked to, or at least, I mean, I'd take a hypothetical, it probably wouldn't be the best, how he would expect or hope that two people on different sides of a very contentious issue would leave that meal afterwards. Because I see your humanity, but I still think you're a moral demon. I mean, it doesn't really...
Where we can sit with our family and talk about what's going on in the world.
Do we have to? Can we just eat as a family? Not discuss what's going on in the world? Can we just let the world go by for one night? Like on Thanksgiving?
Look, I'm going to take you back to Rwanda for just a second.
Do you have... You've already depressed me. Can you... Okay, fine. Let's go back to Rwanda. Happy days.
We can't continue going down this path of...
America is not on a path to Rwandan genocide. I don't know what else to tell you about this. The end is... Okay, you're marching around with an end is nigh sign, and I don't believe you.
Division. We can't continue going down this path of hate. We can't continue going down this path of blame.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Why are you asking me? You're the one giving the talk.
and hostility.
Oh, hostility.
History tells us that this is a disastrous path.
Uh-huh.
And we're not any different, right? We're not any different.
Yeah, we're not. You're right. Yeah, the United States of America is no different than Rwanda. Obviously so.
So look, I ask you to commit to this common ground project.
I'm committing to a structure of popsicle sticks built on a sand pit.
To host a dinner with someone who believes differently than you. And I think when we listen,
you know what I think will happen is that you'll both leave that dinner being exactly where you were when you started. I mean, unless you're talking about some of the most one side or the other type topics, if you get down to the nitty-gritty on certain things, it's not going to matter much. You need to see each other's humanity. No, I know that they're human. I just know that they are completely wrong.
when we intend to listen, to understand, then I think we will learn something from each.
No, I mean, I agree in listening to understand. I mean, why do I do TEDx Talks? Because I'm an intellectual masochist, apparently. But aside from that, more often than not, I listen to TEDx Talks on specific subjects because, as I've said before, I pick out things that at least comport themselves to be supporting topics or subjects that I have some doubt about or have had some not so convincing experiences in the past with. Maybe because it's possible I could have my mind changed. It's not a certainty, but there's a small percent. There's a larger than 0% chance I could have my mind changed. But if nothing else, yes, I do want to at least understand what the argument is, especially about something that I have a reflexive aversion to, because if nothing else, I'll at least have a better idea of why I disagree with something, and not just disagree with it because it sounds reflexively bad. Because maybe there's something there that I could learn from. Or again, maybe somebody could come up with an argument or a point that I hadn't thought of before, that might shift my mind or my perspective, if not change it outright. So in that regard, I agree. That is a useful thing to do.
Each other.
Yeah.
And I do think we will find some common ground. I think we will find humanity in each other.
I can't, it's difficult for me to imagine or recall a time where I watched a TEDx, just as an example, where I don't even think I ever have, where I've looked at the speaker and thought that they weren't human. I've listened to a few speakers who have said and promoted things that I think are decidedly inhumane, but I didn't think of the person as inhuman. They might not be somebody I like all that much based on what they were promoting, but that didn't make me think of them as some kind of creature. So, but again, that's just me.
And then I think what that will do for us is I think it'll help us find a little more hope for the future. And so all this requires is you. It requires a commitment, and it requires a little courage.
Oh, okay. Well, not interested. Okay. Well, okay. That was, I mean, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I don't doubt his good intentions, but he didn't do much for me in the convincing side of things. Anyway, let me zoom in on the bingo card here a little bit. Is that about right? That's about right. Okay, so here is the bingo card as I have it. I'm going to go over it one more time by myself. If you have arguments for squares to be circled, please just hold on to them, and I will get to you presently. DEI philosophy. Didn't hear anything about that. Word salad. Yes. The repetition of ideas back and forth. Yeah, there was plenty of word salad fodder there. Marginalization. Okay, he didn't use the words, so did he use the concept? I mean, he was talking about divisions between us. Does that equal marginalized? Maybe. I guess it depends. Attribution. Attribution 007. Attribution with a license to kill. Scribe's looking pretty dapper today. Well, thank you. Yes, I dressed up for Thanksgiving dinner. I do own a few nice outfits that I only have rare occasion now to wear. And got my vest, got my tie clip. And even though, here's the thing, even though I don't need to, because it's only the upper half of my body that you're seeing on camera, I did even put on slacks. So I'm actually wearing a full outfit. Well, okay, I've got slippers on because my feet are cold. I'm not wearing dress shoes, but I mean, for all intents and purposes, I could be attending a dinner right now. So there you go. Thank you, Attribution. Let's see. Moving on. Patriarchy. No. Contradicts own point or fails to make argument. Fails to make argument, certainly. Only because it was such empty boilerplate platitude type stuff that didn't really convince me of anything. It's like, let's all sit down and acknowledge each other's humanity, and then walk away from the dinner still being on completely opposite sides of important issues. That's probably what you'd get out of it. Oh my gosh. Spedworm. And I'm sure that you have a name I know you by elsewise, but I'm blanking on the avatar. I'll catch up as I can. Hopefully everyone had a great day. Back to work for me. Thank you. Spedworm. Who are you? YouTube, why did you do this to me? I feel like such a yutz. I have a hard time, memorizing names to faces in real life as it is. And I see that avatar and I'm like, I know that, but then the name boggles my brain. Spedworm. Please, remind me of the name I would know you better by. Please, please, please. Or if somebody in the chat knows offhand, please remind me. I'd rather address them as the name I'm familiar with, and they're hopefully, happy to hear. I mean, I do appreciate testing my memory from time to time, but sometimes for the sake of propriety. Oh, wait. It's just Spedworm. Oh! Been a quiet watcher for another... Oh, well... Okay, now see, I've double confused myself. I could have sworn that I recognized that avatar from times past. Maybe... Okay, well, thank you, Spedworm. And thank you for breaking your silence. That's very generous of you. Thank you so much. That's happened a couple of times in the last week or two. I've had people, at least 2 or 3 times in the last, just say, I've been watching you for years and the first time I've said anything or whatever. And I'm just like, well, hi. So again, I try, at least in the collective sense, say hi to everybody at the beginning of the top of the shows by saying anybody lurking, hello. So I guess there's a lot of lurkers out there, and that's fine. But I'm happy to hear from you. So thank you, Spedworm, so much. Happy Thanksgiving. What? Whoa. Alan Thyler again! With the #1 samurai Dogcat Fox. Oh, Dogcat Fox.
Wowie, wow.
Ooh, there's a P-Dog Night Dogcat Fox. Thank you so much, Alan, again. Appreciate it. Speaking of P-Dog Night, he had his Thanksgiving show today, if I'm not mistaken. You guys don't know about P-Dog Night, go check out the P-Dog Night. That's P-D-A-W-G, Night with a K, show over on the P-Dog Night channel. He does a morning stream called the Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday, I think, starting at about 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern, and with one of the best voices on YouTube, as far as I'm concerned. Smooth. Smooth like butter. All right, back to the bingo card. Back to the bingo card we go. Let's see. Feminism. Nope. Systemic or institutional? Well, I mean, he did talk about genocide. And is that systemic? Maybe. Maybe there's an argument there clearer than what I can come up with. Anecdote that probably never happened. His anecdotes. He talked about traveling the world and going to different places. He went to Afghanistan. He went to Rwanda. He went to someplace I'm forgetting right now. Nothing about his anecdotes were either detailed enough or sounded off base enough that they're quote unquote too good to be true. So I don't think that applies here. White supremacy. He didn't bring up race in any kind of contentious way. He brought it up as like, listen to people regardless of their race, gender, childhood or family anecdote. He never got that far. He gave anecdotes about his younger years, but he never talked about his family. He talked about family in the abstract, but he didn't give us an anecdote about his family or his growing up. Leaves out vital context. Yes. What specifically are you attempting to address? How are you attempting to address it? He talks about how divisive we are as a nation. 50% of us see the other half of the country as terrible people. Okay. How would you bring together people with that kind of climate to a dinner in the first place? What's their incentive to come? And what issues would you hope to find common ground on or give an example thereof? He never did. Weightless example or non sequitur. It's in this instance, it's just like the last talk where the lady at the top of her talk, she brings up the death of her half brother from an avalanche. And while that anecdote is decidedly tragic and nothing to make fun of or anything, it had absolutely nothing to do with the rest of her talk. And in this instance, bringing up the Rwandan genocide at the top and near the end of his talk, and then comparing that to America, it's just shock value. It's got nothing. It doesn't add anything to the conversation, and it sounds like a cheap tug at someone's moral heartstrings. So not only did I not like it, it was pointless. Sales pitch for product or service. Okay, he did not give us a product or a service. He was pitching an idea, but it wasn't a business. It wasn't a tangible good. It wasn't a book that he wrote. So buzzword, buzz phrase, and a list, certainly for his framework and plan and all that, but I can't see sales pitch for product or service. Privilege. I don't know. Collectivize his own demographic. To be fair, he never, as far as I can tell, gave a clear answer on what part of the political divide he sits. I mean, I can guess, but I couldn't say for sure. Economic disparity. I don't know that he did. Plays victim. Okay. I can already hear off in the distance, in my psychic mind, I can hear Advocatus Diaboli be like, he was playing victim for the entire side that thinks that everybody else is terrible and need to bring people together. Maybe, but I need something more specific. Deceptive statistics. Did you know that 50% of people are thinking the other side is terrible? Again, I don't know if that's deceptive or just a shrugged statistic. So I need an argument on that one. And lastly, microaggressions or unconscious bias. Yes. I mean, the idea of a presumed bias or division and so on was running throughout this. So certainly that was a major theme. So I will circle that one. That seems fair to me. Okay, so anyway, that is the card as I have it right now. If you have arguments for squares to be circled, put them in the chat now. If I miss your argument, please just repost it. If you say scroll up, I ain't gonna. Although I do scroll up at the beginning just because I'm nice like that. Thank you, Keeverdam, for providing the link to P-Dog Knight's channel. Thank you, Keeverdam. appreciate it. Feminism. The dude was a champagne socialist bleeding heart. Again, possibly so, but we are constrained to what is actually said or presented in the talk. So can you give me an example from the talk that you think exemplifies feminism? I know we can make we have our suspicions, but let's see. Common ground. Everyone has a rectum and they all stink. Thanks for bringing that to the Thanksgiving dinner table. Okay. Not a bad Kermit voice. Oh, that's not my Kermit voice. I was not attempting to do Kermit there. I was just trying to do like, duh voice. Like, hello, Kermit the Frog here. Oh, Piggy, why are you so angry? Oh, Fozzie. Oh. Like you get that rumpled, like when his little snout kind of curls up. I can't do that in real life, like or whatever. It can't. Anyway, kudos, Greg. Well, I do my best. He called you out. That's true. I did. I just had this notion. I was like, Advocates Diablo's going to say, "Oh no, he was playing victim because he's sad because of everybody else being against him." Yeah, I mean. If you've got a more detailed argument than that, what kind of rings are those? What rings? Like these? These rings? Well, they are alternately steel or silver. This I doubt the camera can see it, and I'm scared to. Yeah. Anyway, this is my Punisher ring. This is all surrounded by little Punisher symbols. Yeah, I like this ring. These are just generic rings, just for show. I do not have the wedding ring. I'm not married. Those are just ring rings. There you go. Let's see. Homemade pies. What kind of pies? I like pie. On your fingers, yes. Yeah, so those are the rings. Yeah, I have my Punisher ring. I love my Punisher ring. I wear it as often as I can to show off my fandom. It's the one little piece of sort of fanboy bling I wear on any regular basis. Any other arguments for squares to be circled, guys? Found the ring in a Cracker Jack box. Not me. No. This is ordered. This is off of a very prestigious jewelry store called Amazon.com. Let's see. Is it a decoder ring? Well, I mean, for those that ask about it or can recognize its significance without me having to tell them, it decodes a fan from a mundane. From a mundane. If I can enunciate today. I'm getting one of my rings fixed after my mom cut it off for my failed job. Your mom cut it off for you? What? I don't understand. Your mom cut off a ring because... Okay, I need some more context. Also, it's Stoka. Yes, I dressed up for Thanksgiving dinner. I thought it was appropriate to look a little fancy tonight. So, I was my first thought. I have a orange dress shirt, a more like or a burnt umber orangish dress shirt that I was going to wear because it felt more like fall colors, festive. But the collar on that shirt, when trying to like button it, was so tight. I think, yeah. So it was hurting me to try to get that button on there, and it was gonna be strangling me all night. So I had to find a more forgiving collar, and so this is where we're at right now. Do you have a someone? No. I am single bachelor. Single bachelor? Single bachelor. Yes. Such is the case. I'm surprised economic disparity wasn't part of his speech as an obstacle to making dialogue. Yeah, he kind of shied. I mean, and this is part of the problem. He shied away from giving specifics. Like, how would you bring people together if they have divisions, like you say, along economic lines in some way, class lines, and their perspectives on, wealth or taxation or the job market or something else. How would you bring those people together, or how would you start that conversation? That's why this talk really needed one or two, preferably three, specific examples of contemporary points of division. If I was doing this talk, I would have cut out all of the I've been to Rwanda and the Civil War, and all that stuff was just completely unnecessary. I would have cut out all of that, saved myself 3 minutes, 4 minutes on the talk, and I would have jumped to the part after that, described my framework and my 3 questions or whatever, and then I would have given, again, 2, preferably 3 examples in ascending controversy of topics and people on either side, and giving a moment to, in general terms, both sides of the argument, and then describe what our speaker, or if I was the speaker, what I would hope to see both sides do or offer up in the course of creating a productive conversation. Because without that, there's nothing for me to dig into. There's nothing for me to understand how he thinks this process should work, even if it's only in a pie in the sky sense. So yeah, if in the autopsy of this talk, such as it is, cut out the first 3 minutes, start with your little sentiment, boy oh boy, I wish people would get along together, or at least have civil discourse. Wouldn't it be nice? Here's my idea for how to do that. Framework, and then example, and then conclusion. Because without that, what he says is just abstract fluff. And it doesn't help anything, it doesn't explain anything. So, if I was to do this. Alan Thayer, sorry, I am from Kentucky. Why are you apologizing for being from Kentucky? What's wrong with Kentucky? I've never been. But, I mean, is there some point of shame from Kentucky? Kentucky isn't that bad. I don't think any place is inherently bad. Well, save for maybe Portland or Seattle or classically Detroit. But you know what I mean. Forgive me, I did not dress up unless you count ready for bed. Hey, if you're not on camera, you don't have to dress up. I mean, I could have not dressed up. I could have just put on my, my comfy robe or something. Any other arguments for squares to be circled? He doesn't want you to feel jealous. Way I talk. Okay. I don't know. Is there a Kentucky dialect or something? I don't know. I have family from the South. When I talk to them, on the rare occasion now, because most of them have, passed away because they were all older relatives. When I did talk to them on the phone, I would adopt that twang, that way of speaking from Texas, Oklahoma kind of thing. And on occasion, I can still fall back in there. And there were little phrases and things I'd pick up from my parents that I grew up, especially from my dad, and some Midwest, Wisconsin type things. So, from time to time. Let's see. As to not let you down, collectivize his own demographic, people who eat. Okay. I appreciate the attempt. But, yeah, this talk was fairly bereft of the usual points and really didn't go anywhere. What's this? I remember the April Fool's stream you did with the Southern accent. Oh, yeah. Oh, geez. I forgot that was a long time ago, wasn't it? Yeah, I can, if I really concentrate, I can keep that up for a while. that was more of a like having watched Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil several times. Southern accent, like the Kevin Spacey Southern accent from that movie. Yeah. I'd have to. It's like an old muscle I'd have to exercise again because it's been a while. But if push came to shove, I could simulate a genteel Southern accent, I think. Happy Thanksgiving, mystery. Hope you're having a good one. And just wrapped up a day in Mississippi. Headed back to Wisconsin in the morning. Oh, well, you got it from both ends there, Mississippi and Wisconsin. But all right, guys. Well, that was TEDx number 1. Well, let me load up TEDx number 2. Now, this is one that was up for on the poll a week or so ago. That was not the winner of the poll. We had, climate change can only be solved by women, and tax the rich. And then there was one about masculinity. And so, let me read the title of this one, because it gives me an expectation. It's called Man Up, A Poetic Reckoning with Shame, Violence, and Masculine Ideal. So this may be some kind of spoken word slam poetry thing. Maybe. I'm assuming it says poetic reckoning with shame, violence, and masculine ideal. Outside of that, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure. But let me pull that up here. One moment. All right, so I'm going to change colors on the bingo card. I'm going to go from green to orange, just for changing things up a bit. Okay, let me back that up. And I got to put the bingo card back on the tab. 1 second here, guys. Live TV coordination and such. Where'd you go? There you are. Okay, so that. Okay, I think. Yes. All right. This is the trials and tribulations of only having one screen and having multiple tabs open and trying to keep everything copacetic. Well, in this small intermission, if you have not already, and you want to, you don't have to, if there is something that you are thankful for on this Thanksgiving and would like people to know about it, put thankful in the chat and then tell me what you're thankful for. And I'll read those out. Let's see. Oh, programming note. I will not be doing a Saturday stream this weekend, and in fact, I might not be streaming again until Monday. Saturday, I am spending time with Sister Scribe. We're going to be doing some post-Black Friday shopping and gift coordinating. If you can believe it, and if my mother is watching, this is no spoiler because, well, it's going to happen anyway. My sister and I are planning to severely spoil my mother this year, given everything that has happened and everything that she has endured and for the future oncoming. So we have some work to do and some discussion to be had, and that'll probably take up a good chunk of Saturday, and I probably won't be in a mindset to do news on Saturday. I'd rather just sort of take the time and enjoy time with my sister, as it were. So there'll be that. So consider this marathon a double helping of Scribe. Now, it's not impossible that over the course of the thankfully extended weekend, even with month-end billing stuff I have to worry about, I might get the itch to stream anyway, tomorrow or Saturday or Sunday. So keep an eye out on my Twitter. You can see it there. See what I did? The little ticker. That's a StreamYard thing that was covering up half, if not all, of my little X and Scribe Live things before. I revised my overlay so that I raised that up to account for the ticker. Now, see, I'm a professional. I try to make everything look professional. After I've gotten it wrong for a couple of weeks, but anyway. So anyway, as I was meaning to say, there. If you want to follow me on the X Machine for any updates on any streams I might be doing or anything else that I'm up to, follow me there. Or you can always join the Discord server, a link to which I'll provide by the end of the show. BC, thankful. I am getting ready. I'm finally getting my polyp surgery, so I finally smell things and taste food again after 2 years of fighting the VA hospital. Holy cats, dude. Dang. Well, congratulations on getting the surgery. I hope it's successful and gets all the gunk out of your nose. And do you have a plan for your post-surgery olfactory experiences? Like, if it were me, I would have I'd have my family, or I'd have prepared ahead of time like a green apple that I could just or all my favorite things that I like to smell, that I like to taste. I'd have them ready as soon as the surgery was done, and I could smell again. Do you have that? Do you have anything like that in mind? Do you have a plan, like a post-surgery meal or something that you're going to do? That's what I'd do. And I know it probably can't happen immediately after the surgery. There's probably some healing time, but all the same. So good luck on that. Glad the VA is helping out. The VA was Johnny on the spot with my father. I'm sorry that it's taken time for them to come around for you, but I hope it all goes well. Slipnotic. Cimmerian? Chimerian. Smithnastios and walnuts. Bridget. Happy Thanksgiving all. Won't stay up too long. Got to get up at 4 to catch a flight to glorious Nippon or Japan. Ooh, Bridget, are you off to a foreign country to hit people with big sticks? Yes. I don't need to see it. I just need to know that you are traveling internationally to beat people with sticks. Is that the case? Oh, please. Not this time. Oh, man. So is it just for entertainment purposes or something else? It's not a professional trip. Okay. All right. Maybe next year, hopefully. Okay. Well, enjoy your flight. I can only imagine it's a lengthy one. And enjoy the land of the rising sun. I just watched a Japanese show, Alice in Borderland Season 3, which felt like a completely unnecessary season and a lame way to try to bring up the story again, because it had a convoluted yet pretty definitive conclusion in Season 2. And yet there was a teaser for a Season 4 that takes place in America? I don't know. Yeah, Season 3 of Alice in Borderlands, some of the games scenarios they came up with in that season were like reading VCR instructions, and I just kind of spaced out in a lot of them. Although I never got tired of the characters screaming at each other, Usagi! Irisu! Usagi! Irisu! Like watching Akira. It's like, Kaneda! Tetsuo! Kaneda! Anyway. I will play Taiku no Tetsuo. Okay. Anyway. If I missed any other... Holy cat! Alan Thyler! Again! Man. Thank you, Alan. For the You're Amazing Samurai Dogcat Fox. Oh, Dogcat Fox.
Wowie, wow.
No, there's a Roan Harushan Dogcat Fox. Thank you, Alan. That's ridiculously generous, dude. Thank you. I don't know what to say. Appreciate it. I don't know why with the super sticker super chats, you're not allowed to thumbs up or hit the little heart button. They don't have that available. On the text ones, you can thumbs that up and hit the heart button as another marker of appreciation. They don't let you do that for the sticker ones. I don't get it. But thanks. All right. Well, guys, let's get on with our poetic dissertation on masculinity. This one clocks in at just under 11 minutes. Get my bingo card ready here with the color orange. And let's go.
According to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime,
Yes?
men commit 90% of all homicides.
All right, we're number one. Wait,
Worldwide.
okay. Well, you see, we need more female representation in homicide, I guess.
90% of all murders.
Uh-huh. Okay. So, a talk about bringing people together at the dinner table starts with Rwanda. And now a talk about masculinity starts with worldwide homicide. Worldwide homicide sounds like an album title or something.
Committed by men.
By men. Okay. I know this might be splitting hairs, but when you're talking about homicide, that doesn't necessarily describe the circumstances surrounding it, just that a life has been taken by another person. Is there any distinguishing between justified homicide or death that occurs in a war zone or anything like that? I know, I'm being nitpicky.
The same report says that in the United States, men account for 90% of all prisoners.
Okay. Men are inherently murderous criminals, everybody.
Many of whom are less than 30 years of age.
Oh, you mean when their brains have largely not fully developed, you say? Oh, okay. Why don't we jail women as much?
Young men.
Yes, less than 30 years of age would qualify for young men in general terms.
Incarcerated in droves.
Incarcerated as a result of their own actions, you mean? Not like they were rounded up catch as catch can style or something, right?
These numbers are more than just statistics.
No, they are just statistics. Because, again, you haven't broken down specifics. But okay.
For me, they read like a desperate plea for help.
Oh, okay. All right. How would you help the homicidal incarcerated individual?
What does it mean to be a man?
I guess being a homicidal criminal. Right? Because obviously 90% of all prisoners being men and 90% of all homicides being committed by men mean that men are inherently bad. We're all just one step away from becoming a homicidal incarcerated individual, right? Because that population of individuals is a reflection of all men. Obviously.
A question that is central to any conversation about masculinity.
Okay. You could have led with that and not done all of the homicide and incarcerated part, because that kind of front loads your own bias, but okay.
A question that is too often responded to in the language
Toxic masculinity?
violence. violence.
Oh! What does it mean to be a man? And that question is responded to with violence. Okay, well, you could just wrap your talk up right now then. I mean, what else is there to discuss? Masculinity means violence. There's no other endpoint for it. There's no other driver of it. It's just violent and incarcerated fodder. So, you know, let's not talk about the providers, the protectors, you know, the people who would put their lives on the line for the ones that they love, or even complete strangers. No. Okay, I mean, roll credits, I guess.
I dedicate my poem,
Oh.
Man Up, to all the sweet, innocent young boys
There are no sweet and innocent young boys. They're just murderers in waiting, you've just told us.
who are sacrificed on the altars of masculinity.
Okay.
Man up.
Uh-huh. Sorry, I'm just sort of already dreading having to wade through this, but okay. Pregnant pause.
I was 7 years old.
Oh my God. Childhood family anecdote. Finally, we get a square on the board. Childhood family anecdote, circling that one, and circling free space. Because it's free. Okay. And collectivize his own demographic, circling that one because why not? Deceptive statistics, circling that one because 90% but without qualification. And I think I'll stop there for the moment. So far on the board for this talk, after almost 2 minutes, we have free space, childhood or family anecdote, collectivize his own demographic, and deceptive statistics. There are probably others, but we will get them as we go.
When the front door of my house closed, the draft, a sweeping force, lifting the echo, the words that waif and drift, float and hang a cloud just above me.
What were those words? Tell me.
One cloud in a storm.
Yeah.
A whirling, raging storm.
Was it a brainstorm?
That still rains and thunders, just as those words ring and torture.
And those words were...
After all these years.
Drink your Ovaltine?
Stop acting like a little bitch.
Hey, there's a ranting monkey! Ranting monkey! Boy, the speaker says, stop acting like a little bitch, and suddenly ranting monkey appears. It's like open sesame or something. Happy Thanksgiving, ranting monkey. Hope you're doing well. You and all of your tiny, you know, if you did not know, ranting monkey is the family patriarch presiding over an entire tribe of tiny little Amazons. They have taken over Monkey Nation over the last several years. So yeah, he's overwhelmed in a good way. But happy Thanksgiving, Ranting Monkey, to you and the entire monkey brood, as it were. Wee ones and otherwise. Are you streaming later, Ranting Monkey? Shall I plug your channel in the friendliest possible interpretation of those words? If you don't know about Ranting Monkey, and I can't imagine you don't, but if you don't, check out Ranting Monkey and Ranting Monkey Games on the YouTube machine. He does a semi-regular stream at various times of the day or night called Monkey in the Morning. Sometimes it's actually in the morning, sometimes it's in the middle of the night. And otherwise, you can sometimes be found playing survival games like, what was that zombie game? I'm suddenly forgetting. The zombie game. Oh, Monkey, have you tried Dune Awakening? I'm playing Dune Awakening. It's pretty good. It's a decidedly better version, or I guess maybe more enhanced version of Conan Exiles, because unlike Conan Exiles, there's a plot progression and factions to join and more storyline and role-playing to do. But it's got all the base building and collecting and survival stuff, and it's thematic too. Anyway, let's see. I'll be sleeping when I can. Then maybe a stream in the afternoon when everybody gets home. Okay. Well then, guys, go subscribe. Set your reminders for the Monkey in the Morning stream. And Keeverdam, thank you for providing the link to Ranting Monkey's channel. There you go, guys. All right. Anyway, stop being a little bitch, you say.
Get out there and be a man.
Okay, well, were you acting like a little bitch? Were you acting like a scaredy cat? Were you not taking responsibility for your actions or something? I mean, what? I know it is not proper for me to question what the circumstances were surrounding this little conflict. Context matters, but, I mean, what were you doing at the time?
Man up.
Okay.
Get tough. Lose the tears. Get extreme.
Like, wait, like blast processing extreme?
Dominate.
Dominate? Oh man, am I a Ventrue all of a sudden? Or a Giovanni? Or a Tremere? I think those are the big three.
No matter the field. In sports, in games, in combat, in love.
Yes! Dominate in love. Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Insane.
Only if you do the same thing over and over expecting a different result. I mean, if you're successfully dominant in love, then that's for my other channel.
Win and win.
Oh, look at this thoughtful guy. Boy, he is engaged. Oh, I gotta have my thumb out, sorry. Okay.
Win and win, even when there is nothing to win.
There's always something to win.
But empty winning.
Okay, I know, I'm not gonna get it. I need an example.
But we do not all win.
You're right. Life isn't fair. Does that mean I should not attempt to take control of my life and my destiny and act like an adult? And have a code of conduct that exemplifies me as a responsible man that doesn't have to inherently include violence or hurting people? I guess my question to our speaker would be, can you be a man and not hurt people? Or do you only see masculinity as a violent end?
Does that mean we are not all men?
No. What?
What is a man?
What is a woman?
Women are sugar and spice.
Uh-huh.
And we learned early to never be nice to them.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Right?
We never learn to be nice to them. What do you mean, we? Yevgeny Zemyatin, what do you mean, we? And if you get that reference, no. I'm circling patriarchy, and I'm also circling feminism. Because I don't know if he'll use the phrase, but toxic masculinity as a concept runs rampant through this talk so far. So I'm circling that one. So far on the board for this talk, we have circled patriarchy, feminism, free space, childhood or family anecdote, collectivize his own demographic, and deceptive statistics. There are others, I'm sure. We'll get to them. That's where we're at. So.
Or be anything like them, resembling them. Be nothing but a man.
You know, I can only hope that I resemble something of my mother. My mother is a saint, okay? And I don't say that lightly, and I don't mean it as a joke, although sometimes it can sound kind of jokey. If ever I needed more evidence of that, it's this last year and a half and afterwards. I'm withholding getting to like on the couch psychological about this, but there are so many elements of my parents that I try to not only express, but that I hope are a part of my makeup when times get tough or I'm challenged to something. It has been said many times by people who know my family that when they hear me talk now, they hear my father's voice. And when I say certain things, when I encounter certain situations or I express myself on certain topics, I too hear my father's voice. And not just in the intonation, but in the overall philosophy. It really goes to a phrase that my father said when I was growing up. He said that the older he got, the smarter his father became. And I found that in parts to be true. That's not to say that my father and I got along on everything or agreed on everything, but when it came down to sort of the boilerplate truisms of life and a correct way of conducting yourself, there's really no way around it. And on top of that, I could only hope to have the patience and the strength and the courage and the gentleness that my mother possesses. Even now, even after everything that she's been through. So I don't know what this guy's talking about. He and I after a fashion, and is this masculine of me to say this? I feel sorry for our speaker if he had an upbringing that led him to this conclusion. I have empathy for our speaker, because it sounds like he had a rough upbringing if this is how he thinks that masculinity works, or that men operate as a rule. Ron Harushin. I don't know if you're here for it, but I played your Wowie Wow Wow earlier. Thank you, Ron Harushin. What is a man but a miserable pile of secrets? But enough talk. Have at you. It's true. We are a miserable pile of secrets. Intrigue and suspicion surround us. Because men are very complicated, very mysterious creatures. Very hard to figure out. I mean, you just have to show up with a sandwich and be naked and we're pretty much done. But anyway.
And men are snips and snells and puppy dog tails.
What is a snip? Anybody know what a snip is? Well, I should say I've been told that there's been two interpretations of that poem It was there was snips, and then there was another word that was used in some versions of it in the old versions. But or snit. I think there was a snit or snip. What's a snit? What's a snip? What? Alan Thyler? Good gravy. Thank you, Alan, again. Holy cow, man. With the kimono-wearing fireworks Dogcat Fox. Oh, ho, ho. Dogcat Fox.
Wowie, wow, wow.
Oh, there's a ranting monkey Dogcat Fox. Alan, good gravy, man. Thank you so much. I don't know what to say. That's very, very generous of you. Again, appreciate it. I will work to pay this forward as usual. Keeverdam, being Johnny on the spot here with... Derek LaRue! Good gravy. Thank you, Derek, again. Jeez, guys. You're like Ursula. You're stealing my voice away from me. Thank you. Very much. This will be paid forward, I swear. A lot of things going on right now. Thank you. Appreciate it. I don't know what else to say. Yes, my voice has been taken from me. Oh, you missed it, Roan? Okay, well, tell you what. Just let me find it here. I can do that again.
Wowie, wow, wow.
There you go. There you go. If for no other reason than for everyone's generosity. Thank you so much. No. Okay. Keeverdam. We've talked about this before. The word sorry around here is verboten from you, barring you having done something like egregious or something, and you didn't. But you didn't. But yes, back to that. Okay, so Keeverdam has provided the Snips Wikipedia article. Snips and snails. Snips quite literally means something snipped or cut. Now, I was under the impression that the word snip had a different version in an old version of the poem, like it was snip or a snit. And I think a snit was supposed to be like vermin or lice or something. Maybe I'm misremembering things. But anyway, it's irrelevant for the sake of the talk, I guess. It's one of those things where when I was growing up, I was like, what's a snip? Snip of what? Anyway, snips and snails and puppy dog tails, yes?
And the number one murderers on the face of this earth. Men kill extremely.
Extreme! Do men do anything else? I mean, just... Is there any other aspect to stereotypical manly behavior you'd like to mention, aside from outright slaughter?
In extreme numbers. Bigger, stronger, faster. Turn on the nightly news. Hear man roar.
Yeah, we can rebuild him. We have the technology.
Tally the score daily. More and more and more. True.
True. Yeah, okay. Yeah, everybody's... Yeah, deadly war machines is all what men are. Murder machines. It's the cousin of the misery machine. It's murder machine. Thank you, Frosted Glass. TEDx presents a guy you met leaving a bar at 2 a.m. Yeah, or somebody on the bus that just happens to have something they'd like to share with everyone. Thank you, Frosted Glass. Okay.
It's not always murder.
Oh, is there some other capital offense you'd like to add to the only aspects exemplified by men?
Sometimes men just batter.
Sure. Making cookies and pancakes. Oh, no, wait. You mean physical assault? Okay.
or assault
Oh, well, you need a little salt in your batter. It's true.
or rape.
Oh, well, American Pie.
Then
I get it's a stylistic thing. I'm not saying it looks bad on everybody, but these giant ear piercings on guys, or the where they put like the rings in their earlobes and that kind of thing. I've never quite understood that. Well, I haven't quite understood in anybody in particular, but especially guys, it just looks bizarre to me. I don't know. It's a stylistic thing, I guess.
when
Gauges.
men aren't killing others, men take their own lives at a ridiculous rate.
Why is that, do you think? You want to talk about that for a second? Why would they be so self-destructive? Could it be, and I'm not saying it's the reason for every instance, but could it be that over the last, say 10, 15 years especially, there has been an ongoing effort to demonize men as inherently broken creatures, as simply criminals in waiting, who have nothing to look forward to but a life of misery and destruction, and that they are inherently bad. And any expression of anything that could be considered masculine is just a red flag towards becoming a terrible, terrible monster, as you've described yourself. And if you were told over and over and over and over again that you are a malfunctioning girl, and that you are a monster just waiting to happen, and there's no hope, you can't fix it, you can't get rid of it, and you will always be seen and assessed with suspicion for your motivations for anything that you do, is it possible that being told that you are part of a broken breed, that might influence a good number of men to say there's no point in going on? Is it possible? Have you considered that possibility?
Beyond fear, deeper than hate, pain is where I'm rooted.
I feel sorry for you. Sincerely. At the same time, I'm no fan of you for spreading your misery onto others.
My every branch anger, while black rain from that cursed cloud grows me.
Black Rain? The Michael Douglas movie?
The ancient family gender tree.
The ancient family gender tree?
Masculinity. On that day,
Which day? Was it a Tuesday?
when I was 7,
Oh, right. Stop being a little bitch. Uh-huh.
I ran down off that porch,
Okay.
acted like a man.
Oh. How did you act like a man at 7?
And got pummeled.
Context?
Beat down. The taste of blood, liquid iron, clotted with mucus, clotted my nose and throat.
What happened? What? Context.
Heavy punches, followed by silver bright flashes of light, exploded behind my closed eyes. My fists flailed powerlessly.
You got in a fight. Uh-huh. And you had to be spurred on to do that by, I'm assuming, your father, who saw you acting like a scaredy cat. I'm guessing. Now, it's not that I would say that going out and fighting somebody is the cure for that particular situation, but okay. I got into a couple of fights when I was a little kid, sure, and is that the entirety of your life? There's no way to grow beyond that or redefine how you deal with your temper or conflict resolution or nothing else? You're just doomed forever because of how you behaved as a 7-year-old? Okay.
On the ground, curled up, kicked in my gut, all air and sound left my body.
Uh-huh. You got your ass kicked. I got my ass kicked a couple of times. And?
Art in agony.
Art in agony? Okay, we are 6 minutes into a 11-minute talk, so he's just a little bit over halfway. And I know this is not your, conventional talk. It is spoken word and everything, but we better be approaching some kind of point here, even though I can only guess where it's going.
Suspended, breathless, silent.
I have serious doubts there was any silence.
In that moment of desperation,
yes. What did you do? What'd you do?
I discovered manhood.
It sounds like that speech that Gary Busey gave in Surviving the Game. Okay, now, this is an aside. And I do not mean this ironically. In my opinion, one of the best soliloquies in cinema is Gary Busey's manhood speech in the movie Surviving the Game. You can find it on YouTube. It's isolated. There's a video. I've seen it before. It is an amazing piece of acting. It is an amazing piece of writing. And it is exceedingly powerful and disturbing. If you have not seen Surviving the Game, that's fine. It's a great flick. It's a great flick with an amazing cast. But if you see nothing else of that movie, definitely look up the speech given by Gary Busey in Surviving the Game on YouTube. It is something else. It's great. No other connection other than his little anecdote here about that's when I learned to be a man. It comes almost exactly word for word from that speech, and it's an amazing piece of cinema. I'll tell you what.
That emptiness.
Okay, so you getting your ass beat, kicked into losing the air in your lungs and everything, that emptiness is when you learn to be a man. Okay. This is a lesson. This is a pain that is self-chosen here. And it's your interpretation, I guess.
That loneliness, that pain, the acceptance of detachment.
The acceptance of detachment is your interpretation of masculinity. Okay.
No sympathy, an agreed upon rejection of masculine connection born of fear of being called gay.
Whoa! Whoa, what? Whoa, 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 whoa. What? Okay.
My attacker and I both sacrifice to violence.
Okay, so given your age, and I'm guessing, I'm only guessing, and given that you're talking about when you're 7 years old, I am guessing that this fight took place at least 40 years ago. I'll be generous. Something like that. Maybe a little bit more. So you got in a fight over one or someone calling you or you calling them gay. Okay. Which in the context of such slander is not always a literal truth, but more just a pejorative for the sake of being a pejorative, but okay. At, again, 7 years old, a childish fight, and this defined your entire life. You know, I don't think you've detached, because you sure seem to be able to hold on to things very well.
The masculine paradigm. 7.
Yeah, 7. And that, you know, saying that out loud actually doesn't bolster your point. It actually makes it more comical. You haven't moved on from something that happened when you were 7. Nothing else has taught you, defined you, refined you since the age of 7.
A late bloomer.
A late What?
In time
goes by so slowly.
I'd get mine.
You get your what?
Another boy. Weaker, more afraid, more feminine. My victim.
Oh. Okay, so you became a bully. Uh-huh. Okay, well, anyway, going over to the card. Did I already, let's see. Self-vilification or wretchedness. Did I already circle that one? No. I didn't. Okay. Well, I'm circling self-vilification or wretchedness now. What else? Systemic institutional DFS. I'm circling plays victim to himself, if not others, or to masculinity in general. And let's see. Yeah, I'll leave it there for now. We'll have plenty to talk about by the time we get to the card.
His blood grew my blood thicker, more manly.
If you say so.
His fear, his sweat, his spit and dignity blaze my fist.
Wow.
My boys slapped my back as we celebrated.
Mm-hmm. And?
My boys.
Yo boys.
Through blood, I was in.
Oh, was this a gang thing or something? Or just, general, tribal thinking or something?
One of them.
Yeah, right.
I regarded my victim as weak, pathetic,
yeah,
girly.
Yeah, welcome, you were a bully. I presume and I hope that you have plenty of remorse for that. Same time, you were 7.
Hating in him what I saw and feared in myself.
Oh my God, it's a tale as old as time. And obviously that's an example of masculinity and not simple human weakness. Because as we know, guys, a woman would never, ever attack someone else, physically or otherwise, who they saw elements of themselves in and didn't like. As we know, this kind of behavior is tied to specific chromosomal pairings.
I marched on to other victims, other predators.
What?
The seesaw of pain and anger played out on the playground. Adolescence, straight through convalescence. It could happen any day. Get disrespected.
Uh-huh. Wow, that sounds like a very poisonous culture to grow up in. Yes, I agree. I think you have taken the wrong lessons from it, but I can understand your sense of guilt if you spent a good chunk of your life behaving in that way. But here's the thing. Hate to tell you this. You are not all men. Just like Rey was not all Jedi.
Disavowed as a man in a mere flash of a second. Life or freedom snatched away by that same cloud.
The cloud of black rain, Michael Douglas, right.
The all-seeing eye of the storm.
Sauron? Oh, sorry, Sauron? Saruman. I always got a little irritated by Tolkien naming his two villains so similarly. They both come off the same way, but anyway, sorry. The Eye of Sauron was on you?
Stop acting like a little bitch.
Uh-huh.
Get out there and be a man.
Uh-huh.
And kill.
Wait. Did you kill somebody? Did you end up killing somebody? Is that why you opened this up with the homicide rate? Did you kill somebody?
Or be killed. Trying to defend the indefinable.
Defend the indefinable? Right.
What it means.
To be a man.
To be a man.
Did you kill somebody?
I teach English.
This is my shocked face.
At Nevada's only maximum security prison for juvenile boys.
Okay. I mean, I'm not hoping that he killed somebody, but I don't know where this is going, so you didn't kill anybody.
Every day, I see our young men struggling to fit into the tight shoes of masculinity.
No, you see a very select portion of the population in a very cloistered environment who are geared toward that kind of behavior. That is not exemplative of all men.
Masculine shoes influence the way they stand and the way they walk. Masculine shoes also influence how they target one another as prey.
And such behaviors are only inherent to the XY chromosomes. As we know. Good gravy. Thank you, Frosted Glass. Blame society for his mistakes. What a little bitch. Oh! Oh! Harsh. Yet poignant. We got a minute to go, guys.
Misunderstood masculinity informs many of their decisions.
Is that what it is? Is that what informs their decisions? Or is it cultural? Maybe a lack of healthy parental oversight. I mean, I have never gone out of my way to beat anybody up. I've never killed anybody. I'm not particularly violent in any way. I don't have a criminal record. You just haven't been caught yet, scribe. No. I don't have a criminal record because I don't commit crimes. I know lots of men who are not violent murderers or assaulters or batterers or anything else. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you're experiencing some confirmation bias here.
As educators,
Are you talking to a room full of educators? Is that what this is?
mentors,
Maybe.
leaders,
Are you leading young boys into thinking that masculinity is inherently toxic? Do you think you're helping the problem?
parents.
Oh, parents, yeah.
It's up to us.
Up to a point, and then it's up to the individual to make their own decisions. But sure, if the kids aren't getting the best guidance growing up, then they might evolve into something like you've described, sure.
What are we going to do?
About masculinity or raising children in a healthy way?
To prepare our boys to answer the question.
Well, I'll tell you what you shouldn't do, is tell them that they are inherently criminals and murderers in waiting for what they are. That's what you shouldn't do. But it sounds like that's what you want people to do.
What does it mean?
You already told us. 90% of the homicides are committed by men. 90% of the people in jail are men. Men are just murder machines. Born and raised. In West Philadelphia.
To be a man.
Oh, and it closes with a quote. It is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. I suppose that might be true, depending on what we're talking about. But okay, well, there we go. Spoken word. Masculinity. Healthy at any size or something. I don't know. Anyway. Moving on, back to the bingo card. All right, this is the bingo card as I have it right now. I'm going to go over it one more time by myself. If you have arguments for squares to be circled, hold on to them, and I'll get to you momentarily. Let's go over it. DEI philosophy. No, he never brought up, putting somebody in a position because of what they look like or anything like that. Word salad. Okay, this is a tough one because I want to at least extend the benefit of the doubt and the understanding that this was not your standard talk presentation. This was spoken word. It was meant to be poetic after a fashion. So is it inherently word salad elsewise? It's hard because, I have to, like I say, I give a little leeway because we're talking about abstractions here. We're talking about poetry. Whether it's good poetry or bad poetry, it was stated to be poetry. So does it qualify as word salad else otherwise? I'm going to leave that one for you guys. I'll need a good argument, though. You'll have to overcome the fact that the format of the talk itself does not mean it's word salad, okay? Mind reading assumes motives. Yes, he already knows the mentality of what it means to be a man and what masculinity is and so on, and is imparting that on the rest of us. A list. I don't know that he gave us a formal list. Marginalized marginalization. Yes, in the sense that, at least in his own story, he undertook acts of violence in order to be part of the group and not be on the outs. So his younger self was fighting being marginalized and being accepted as, part of the larger group. So I think that's fair. Let's see. Contradicts own point or fails to make argument. All right, what was his argument? yeah, I'm still not quite sure where he wanted us to go with that. You know, like I said, the opening moments of his talk effectively told us everything that we needed to know about his opinion. And there wasn't anything else about the talk that really informed me of anything. Attempt to coin new buzzword, buzz phrase. Not that I noticed. I mean, I'm, you know, his poetic devices I don't think count. Systemic institutional. Yes, because, you know, men are taught to be this and taught to do that, and it's a societal, systemic type thing. Let's see. I'm watching to make sure I'm not missing a bingo because I've got multiple colors here. Anecdote that probably never happened. I mean, he obviously dramatized a lot, but I don't have any reason to say that what he's saying is false or too good to be true offhand. If you've got an argument elsewise, by all means. White supremacy, you know, he never did bring up race in any of this, so I don't think it applies. Leaves out vital context. Okay, and again, I'm kind of hampered by the fact that he was talking in abstracts. This was a poem. Okay, I'll need an example, a specific example of what vital context he left out in the course of this. Again, that overcomes the poetry escape. And there is leeway for the sake that this was meant to be spoken word. Weightless example, non sequitur. I'm not sure. I mean, he didn't bring up Rwanda, so I can't go over that one. So, sales pitch for product or service. He mentioned his vocation, but it didn't sound like an advertisement per se. Privilege. Not that I know of. Economic disparity. Again, not that I know of. Benevolent condescension. Yeah, well, I mean, again, talking about men as basically failed experiments that need to be fixed and are inherently, you know, broken from birth and everything. And lastly, microaggressions or unconscious bias. Unconscious bias. I mean, there was nothing unconscious about the bias that he was having exerted upon him by, again, I'm assuming his father, don't be a little bitch, etc. So, no, you know what? When he talked about how he was just attacking the weaker kids that exemplified things within himself, and he's only now sort of realizing it, but he didn't realize it at the time, etc. Yeah, okay. So, let me make sure. Okay, that's not a bingo. Okay, I'm just going to make sure I didn't miss a bingo here. That's not, no. Okay, so we still don't have any bingos. It's possible we might get one. I'm going to need good argumentation here to circle any squares. So, Attribution. Vital concept was left out when he didn't explain his statistics. Well, he said that 90% of the homicides committed around the globe are done by men. That's as much explanation as he gave. I mean, if you want to talk about, like, leaving out vital context, like, were they, you know, justifiable homicides and so on? I mean, I brought that up, but at the same time, it's like, the point he was trying, well, whether you believe it or not, the point he was trying to make is that men are inherently more violent as a matter of course. So, what was that vital context? I mean, it's context I would have liked, I guess. You know, were these homicides committed in on a war zone or self-defense or something else? Vital context, the childhood fist fight. He gave a little bit of context. Somebody called him a name or something, said he was gay or something, I guess. I'm having a hard time prosecuting him too much on vital context in some places because he was doing... I don't want to give him a complete out because it was poetic, but I also can't not acknowledge that it was meant to be poetic. The gender tree. If he had said it more than once, it needed a bit of repetition. If there's going to be a buzzword or buzz phrase that he's trying to drill into people's minds, it has to be used more than just in an offhand sense. So if he had circled back and given a lot of echoing to a particular concept or idea, then maybe. But that was a one-off, a weird one-off, but a one-off nonetheless. So I'm a little... Vital context. This whole talk was about boys being taught toxic crap, yet never mentioned his parents or how he was brought up. What did his dad teach him? Yeah, I mean, he mentioned parents at the end. Well, okay. To be fair, the moment at his 7 years old when he was yelled at and encouraged to do what he did, that's what embodies his upbringing for the sake of this poet. And again, I'm giving him as much credit as I can here. So I think that was meant to symbolize his upbringing, his father's mentality. So he gave us some actionable context for that part. That was the mentality he was brought up with. Also, Mr. Tickletrunk is here. Hello, Mr. Tickletrunk. And also, Datura Jones is here. What did he want from us? Well, by the end, that one comment, bring up stronger boys rather than having to cure broken men or whatever. So he was encouraging a healthier upbringing, I guess, although he didn't really tell us what that healthier upbringing should... Leaves out vital context. And also, I guess, while we were circled, failed to make arguments. So, yeah, he didn't. So, on top of not having a point, he also didn't give us enough information to know what he wanted us to do about this situation. And so, as a result,
Bingo.
What? Bingo! Yeah!
Of course.
we have our first bingo of the whole stream. Oh my gosh. Bingo. All right. That's a bingo. Any more arguments for squares to be circled? Raccoonius the Great. He's got more of a legitimate grievance with you than the other way around. What? How do you mean? Or maybe I'm missing something. This is part of a bigger conversation. I don't know. Boom bingo. Boom. Boom goes the Binghamite. Binghamite? Yeah. Let's see. Frosco asks, scribe a list. He listed all the terrible things men do. Oh, yeah. That's true. That is true. Yeah, he did go down the litany of things that masculinity is represented by. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, he went with some gusto into describing each one with giant, dramatic pauses. Because he is an English teacher at Juvie. Okay, maybe I wasn't talking to you. Quit being so narcissistic. I'm sorry. So sorry. Please accept my apology. I mean, you only said something in my chat, on my show. You're right. That was self-centered of me. I apologize. I apologize. Mr. E, a list. Yep. There you go. 3 folklore components of making a boy. That's true. Oh, yes. Snips and yeah, that's true. There was a list there. Advocast, anecdote that probably never happened. We don't know all those unsolved murders weren't by women. He never said, I don't think he ever said unsolved murders. He just said 90% of homicides. Did he say unsolved? I never heard unsolved. I just heard 90% of murder or homicides are committed by men. 90% of people in prison in America are men. So I don't think he talked about unsolved crimes. I don't think. Don't have a bingo, but instead a WTF, don't talk about Fight Club. Are you making an argument for a WTF? There wasn't a lot of alcohol in this thing, but I might be a little fuzzy right now. It's possible. But we don't know women did not kill all the people whose murders were not by women, so... Oh, you mean the remaining 10%? Or what? Okay, I think you're far be it for me to accuse you of doing so, Advocatus, when it comes to bingo cards. I think you might be reaching. Let's bring Irk back in here to apologize. Maybe the Discord would be a more suitable location for that, then. I don't know what's going on now. I don't know. You were missing my joke. Probably. I am a little befuddled right now between the mild dose of alcohol in my system and 2 TEDx's, and admittedly, I didn't sleep all that well last night, so I'm making excuses. I really should man up. But if women gave birth to all the men, didn't the women kill all the men? Which came first? The murderer or the egg? Well, we know the answer to that, so obviously, yes, the problem really is with women. If it wasn't for all that, birthing people thing, we wouldn't have so many murders. Pirate Afra Airplane. I am Power Afra Airplane. Advice Diably, anecdote that never happened. He never had a problem with being called gay. I didn't get that from the talk. I mean, he may be a mind reader, our speaker, but I'm not. So I don't know about that one. Oh, wait. I clicked on the wrong thing. Okay. Any other squares to be circled, guys, with specific arguments or examples? We're almost done here. I think I'm running out of gas as it is, both mentally and otherwise. Advocatus? Mr. E. Oh my gosh. Oh, did Mr. E attribute something to the wrong person? Did he, by proxy, have Advocatus Diaboli take credit for another man's work? I hear that doesn't happen. How dare you? Making mistakes is so unmanly. Let's see, ACC. Glad he didn't mention rap music. Yeah, there was an element of this that he didn't really mention, and that's just culture, which does, I mean, it has something to do with upbringing and parentage and everything else. He really should have focused on the parenting more than anything else. And he obviously operates in a very select and focused environment. And he's extrapolated from his own experience and the people that he's grown up with and now works with, as though that's evidence of an entire gender's behavior patterns. It's not. I mean, if 90%, here's the thing. If you take his examples, the way that he tried to push them across, and say that 90% of men writ large behave that way, the human race would not have survived the last 200,000 years. We wouldn't have. If men were inherently murderous, rampaging monsters, there would be no civilization, there'd be no society, everything would be falling apart. So his lived experience, while I don't doubt that he had a very tumultuous upbringing and he made some very, very poor choices in his childhood that I'm hoping he learned from, as I said earlier, he is not all the men, just as Rey is not all the Jedi. So he needs to maybe, think about, he could be wrong. He might be overstating things as a generalization. That feel when you give your cat a piece of turkey and now he won't leave you alone. Why do so many of these speakers have to project their issues on everyone else? Well, we've seen this, as you say, we've seen this time and time again. People have used the TEDx stage as a therapy session, as a showcase of their own mind. And that little red circle that they stand on effectively symbolizes just how far outside of themselves they think about the world in so many ways. And it's interesting, on a psychological level, how often this happens and how people do that. And maybe, when somebody gets up on a stage and they're talking about their own lived experience, I guess you really can't do any better than that, is to talk about what happened to you and how it affected you. And that's fine, but like you say, the step you shouldn't take then is to then assume that you are representative of anyone other than yourself. Obviously, there are common human experiences, right? And your, personal example might be understandable and empathized by others, like going through grief or doing something you're ashamed of, and so on. And if he was just telling his personal story, that would be one thing. But as you say, again, he has to feel like he's not alone, or he's trying to, and this is just my interpretation, as with so many other talks, by extending his experience out to how everybody else behaves, well then he's not an anomaly. He doesn't have to feel like he's more responsible for what he does than he's just a victim of the system or of his genes or of his upbringing or what people think of men. So he is, as strenuously as he preached the evils of being a man, he's blaming other people for his own choices. He's blaming his father for what he decided to do. And at a certain point when you're young, that makes some sense. If you have no other guidance, if you have no other role models, and someone's encouraging you or rewarding you or praising you for doing terrible things, you could be forgiven, especially when you're a child. But to then say, oh, well, because that happened when I was 7, therefore all men behave this way. Or this is inherently how men are taught to behave because I was taught that way. No. You could say, this is not the way boys should be taught to behave as children. And that might have some merit to it. It's like, you could say, I know I'm not the only one that has had an upbringing like that. And I want to make sure, or try to work towards, encouraging a healthier way of bringing up boys than what I went through. And that'd be fine, right? That doesn't indict an entire gender for the evils that you committed or were encouraged to commit. But he didn't do that. So, anyway. That talk was a masterclass in projection. Yeah. A lot of TEDx talks are. A lot of, and most especially, and I can't conceivably do a survey, but I would wager that 90% of TEDx talks about healthy masculinity are pretty much projection. I think so. And do you know the ratio of genders that give talks on healthy masculinity? 90% men. It's true. 90% of talks on masculinity on TEDx are committed by men. I just know that. Although I think I'm safe in saying so. Anyway, everybody, that is the show. We got one bingo out of it. We got 2 talks. One that was relatively unconventional for TEDx, in that I was going for sort of a Thanksgiving theme with bringing everybody together for a bipartisan dinner, whatever the hell that is. Didn't make any sense. And then, of course, a poetry talk. I generally avoid those if I know about it ahead of time, but I was just curious about this one because, it was on the list for the poll last week and it didn't make the cut, but it just almost did. So I was like, okay, why not? But yeah. So, closing thoughts. I've talked about how I'd correct both of those TEDx talks in some way, shape, or form. If you have any other things you'd like to say you're thankful for, let me know. Again, programming note, I have no plans to do a Saturday stream this weekend. I'll be spending time with Sister Scribe on Saturday, and that would probably run into my usual schedule planning focus on such things. It is not impossible that I may choose, because I have a long weekend, a lot of free time, that I might stream otherwise about something or other. You never know. So keep an eye on my my X account there. Also, you could also join the Discord server. If you're not already a member of Discord server, you'd like to join the Discord server, link to the Discord server is in the chat right now. All you have to do is click on that link and you'll find yourself on the landing channel called Say Hello. And in addition to saying hello, you just have to say the secret word, and the secret word will tell me that you're not a bot. Actually watch the stream and thus earn the right, the privilege, the entitlement to join the Discord server. And today's secret word is thankful. Just say hello, thankful, and I'll know that you watched the show. K. Roberts, happy Thanksgiving all. Now to dodge Black Friday. Yes, Sister Scribe and I will be shopping on Saturday to avoid the rush of Black Friday, but I'm sure a lot of other people will be doing that too, so it might be just Black Friday to credit card damaging boogaloo, so we'll find out. Frosted Glass, I missed the first talk. Was it a good one? Have you seen my show before? Good seeing you as always. Blue-eyed scream, sweet dreams. Oh. Sweet dreams. Every moment I'm awake, I live another life. Something, I don't know. I don't know the lyrics to that song. I just know the tune. Raccoonius, happy Thanksgiving. Yes, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. By the way, I talked about certain thankful things I was at the top of the show. Here's something else I'm thankful for. And with as little saccharin as I can provide here, I am thankful for all of you, both for what you've brought to my life in the course of my YouTube-ing, but also all of your kind words and support over the last couple of months in particular, and time elsewise, and just for this community. When I see you guys talking to each other in the chat and asking about how you are and catching up with each other and having jokes and stuff, it warms my heart to see you guys commiserating like that and hanging out and enjoying yourselves outside of whatever I'm doing, or in addition to, because it's more than just people attending a stream for the sake of entertainment. This has become community. And here's the one thing that I'm very, very thankful for amongst that sentiment is how welcoming everybody is here. When somebody shows up or speaks up for the first time or is a new attendant or someone or a new regular or whatever, everybody's very nice and welcoming. And this is why I don't have, like I always say this, and I'm going to repeat it again probably because of reflex. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things, even though everyone here is so well behaved, you have very little to do. And by well behaved, I mean just nice, friendly, laid back, chill. It's just a really nice atmosphere to have. There's a lot of shows out there where you have chats and interactions that are based on, conflict or acidity, let's say, something that goes beyond friendly ribbing. That I'm not a prude or anything, but it's nice to have a sense of a community and friendliness and friendship around here that really makes these shows a joy to do and look forward to because of you guys. And so anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. Again, moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things, even though everyone here is so well behaved, you have very little to do. Everybody who donated, guys, holy cow, your generosity tonight, I don't know what to tell you. But please, if you haven't already, please take a look at the top of the chat box to the donation link to the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. If you can donate, please do so. But even if you can't, if you can share that out on social media, that would be appreciated. But elsewise, everybody, hope you have a good rest of your Thanksgiving night I hope you have a good Friday ahead of you. If you're doing the Black Friday thing, stay safe, avoid stampedes, get some good prices if that's what you need to do. If you have the day off tomorrow, congratulations. If you don't have the day off tomorrow, you have my sympathies, and I hope your day is quiet and easy because everybody else is busy with other things. And if I don't see you again until Monday with DEI Death Watch, I'll talk to you then. But keep an eye out on my Twitter, my X, and the Discord. I could get the itch to stream about something. It might be something goofy. It might be something serious. You never know. But everybody, let me turn off all of my doohickeys here. Otherwise, everybody, have a good rest of the night. I hope you're all safe and well. If you're not well, please get well soon. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.